Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. The fair value calculator places the XRP price at about $5.38 amidst a $50 billion trading volume. Now, guys, we've been seeing articles like this for the last several months. This one was actually from the end of January. This one courtesy of MacAttack here, essentially stating XRP price growth based on this increased volume that we are going to see eventually. And this one particularly references the Athey and Mitchnick fair value calculator model, okay? That shows that the crypto asset would be valued over $5 if we did in fact see a volume of about $50 billion. So I did talk about this. I'll see if I can find the video I did specifically about this the other day, and I will link that up here in the top right-hand corner. What I wanted to talk about today, though, was this grand theory, the $20,000 XRP Chad Steingraber theory. This was a theory that Chad brought to us back in 2022, and then he revised it back in 2023. I thought I'd take this video to delve into this particular theory. I think first, before we get into that, we should revisit this idea that XRP was actually designed for $10,000. Now, this was a paper put out by Mark Phillips back in 2019. The video I did on this originally way back then took off, and the theory makes sense. It's very sound. Mark Phillips here basically explaining why XRP was meant to withhold a load of $10,000 per coin. So, we've heard about all these use cases, we've heard about all these possibilities for XRP, and all these different theories surrounding how high the price could go. Well, in this particular paper, Mark Phillips gives us reasons why XRP will not only go to $10,000, but why he believes, in fact, it was built to be $10,000 per coin. So Easy XRP, that's at ERST69, dropped this tweet today linking to a Medium article and the author's Mark Phillips. And Mark Phillips suggests that XRP has the potential to be at a top end of $10,000 per XRP. And he says the evidence is in the design. Now, of course, that sounds amazingly great. And so I want to get into this and read a little bit of this with you guys. When XRP was created, it was designed to be a replacement for both institutional and retail financial systems in every market around the world. How do we know this? An examination of how XRP is constructed makes this evident. A somewhat famous quote from Ripple Labs co-founder Arthur Brito provides a tantalizing clue. In 2017, he wrote, XRP must be scalable to accommodate 7.5 billion people. And guys, I did a video on that a few days ago, that quote. Arthur Brito has essentially stated, not so directly, that XRP should be able to help facilitate the world's transactions. And so Phillips states we'll come back to that quote a little later. Right now, he wants to examine the main features of XRP that support his claim that it was designed to carry a value of $10,000 per XRP. So liquidity and availability. XRP's primary use case is to enable cross-border payments that are faster, cheaper, and more reliable than existing systems such as SWIFT. We know that. So on Ripple's own Insights blog, Shanna Leonard explains how XRP is the only digital asset specifically designed for financial institutions and payment providers, by providing them with a reliable on-demand source of liquidity for cross-border payments. According to Investopedia, liquidity describes the degree to which an asset or security can be quickly bought or sold in the market without affecting the asset's price. Now, I know that'll sound counterintuitive kind of as we go through this, but I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. What we see in today's market is price volatility as a relatively small number of investors buy and sell XRP on exchanges. So that's what we're seeing currently, right? We don't necessarily have the liquidity that we need at this moment, and so that's why you're seeing, even with small transactions, we're starting to see price rise and decrease very rapidly, and that's kind of been the story of the entire crypto market to date. There just isn't the liquidity. So liquidity for XRP or any crypto comes as the price rises. Higher prices equals higher liquidity. The fact that Ripple Labs locked up, okay, so then it talks about the escrow, the 55% of total in a time-released way has been disciplined in relocking the unsold portion. So again, the escrow is not to screw us out of our millions, guys. The escrow is to mitigate the buying and selling. When this thing scales at max potential, the prices will rise, but we can't see drastic increases and decreases and increases and decreases. The price will rise eventually with the liquidity. And again, the escrow is to help mitigate that. And Ripple is saying, look, we're doing this escrow thing to kind of help that as we kind of move through this process. So in the previous 6 months, XRP's prices range from 25 cents to 60 cents, which represents a 120% range either side of the median. Even though this is a massive movement, it is not problematic for institutional use because XRP's fast 1 to 5 second settlement times. So what is problematic, however, is that the price movement was driven by relatively small retail investment. So again, there was the lack of liquidity, right? To move value on the scale of Swift's $5 trillion of daily transactions requires much more liquidity than is available in today's XRP pool. If some 45 billion XRP are available, this would require a price of approximately $111. We know that some of the XRP supply has been burnt or lost, and much larger percentage is probably locked up as long-term investors hold XRP, such as you and I, guys. Thus, an even smaller supply of XRP requires an even higher price to provide the minimum liquidity to accommodate SWIFT. So right now, because of the lack of liquidity, XRP cannot facilitate these transactions, and this is why they are setting up liquidity pools around the globe. They're partnering with Coins.ph, BitSo, BITRUE, so on and so forth. And they're continuing to partner with even more liquidity providers to be able to have these liquidity pools placed around the globe in order for this to happen. So this problem compounds when XRP's use cases are factored in. So this is not even to mention all the spring initiatives that are going to happen. So all these things will drive demand for liquidity. Fortunately, this added demand will also drive the price, which will provide the liquidity. So in fact, this creates a virtuous circle in which demand increases price, which increases liquidity and demand. So the fact that there isn't a lot of liquidity means that the market will be volatile in that XRP will command a higher price because there just isn't enough of it at a certain price. Let's say somebody wants to buy 1,000, but only one person is selling 10, and then the next person is selling 20, and the next person is selling 30. As the price moves up, then the price will shoot up drastically. The same will happen when one sells XRP. But in a world where there will be so much demand for XRP, we need to have the liquidity, even just to be able to maintain a sufficiently high enough price for companies to be able to transact efficiently and effectively amongst each other. So how high can this go? If the entire 1.14 trillion value of all asset classes was tokenized via XRP, that would require at least 11,400 per XRP. Okay, this isn't likely to happen, but it demonstrates the scale of liquidity that XRP is designed to handle. So all value asset classes valued at 1.14 trillion. Let's say in 10 years, everything becomes tokenized. Everybody's on the XRP train. We could possibly see an XRP at 11,000 theoretically. But what about the other end? So divisibility. In his briefish history of XRP, James Hunt noted that there is a max supply of 100 billion XRP being divisible by 6 decimal places, meaning that the smallest unit, one drop, is 1/1,000,000th of 1 XRP. Why would XRP designers make the token so divisible? At a value of 31 cents, this is absurd, of course, right? After all, who could possibly require the use of 1/1,000,000th of 31 cents? But at a much higher token value, and this is the thing, when XRP was created, and the same with Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin divisibility, I'm just going to talk about this for a second here. Bitcoin divisibility, this is why some refer to infinite divisibility, because we can select the level that we need as time goes on. So this is for Bitcoin. The current level selected is the code by Satoshi, and that is at 8 decimal places. So one Bitcoin can be divisible by 8 decimal places. So 0.0000001 BTC is 1 Satoshi. That is the smallest possible unit, and that is embedded directly in the code. What they are saying, though, is that Bitcoin is theoretically infinite in its divisibility. And I'm not a big coder or anything like that, but I'm sure that has to do with the code and changes that would need to occur with the code. But getting back to XRP here, the fact that they have made XRP divisible to 5 decimal spots just goes to show you that it is meant to be used as a token of high value in order to facilitate these transactions.
All right, so I'm going to leave it there, but I will link this video up here in the top right-hand corner for you. An XRP divisible by 5, I said 5 in this video, but it really is 6. I don't know if you guys saw that little amendment that I put up there. 6, so divisible by 6.00001 XRP, so that is 10 drops. That gives us, I think, the biggest clue that XRP was built to be at least 5 digits. Also notice too, and this predates the whole liquidity argument that I came up with years later. This was from February of 2019. I did this video way back in, February 2019. So the idea that XRP needed to be liquid even back then. And I was saying, in 10 years, if the whole market is tokenized, that would bring us to the year 2029. Well, guys, we're halfway there. And, I could not have imagined back then where we would be today. So things to make note of course, there's also this, guys, from Chad Steingraber, the 2 most important things that make XRP special, explained by Coin Club Quincy. This is another great interview. Listen to this.
A lot of the other things there's a lot of overlap. And don't get me wrong, there are some things where it's not proof of stake or proof of work, but that's not what makes it special. That's what makes it maybe unique, but not what's special. The 2 things that make it special is, 1, the entire network is a DEX. What does that mean? It means anybody from their individual wallet can list an asset for sale into the DEX. You don't have to go to a DEX. You don't have to go to third. The entire network is a DEX. In that DEX is a liquidity routing algorithm that allows you to maximize liquidity between any asset that you, or maximize it automatically routes the asset to maximize liquidity. So the whole premise of this is no liquidity pools. There's an algorithm that keeps you, so any other exchange, any other DEX, any other everything has liquidity pools. XRP does not. It has an algorithm that maximizes liquidity by being able to route and liquidate the asset based on what's available on the network. Those are the 2 things that make XRP amazing. Now you can get into the speed, you can get into it's not proof of work, proof of stake, you can get into all that too. But those 2 things, the fact that the entire network's a DEX and there's an algorithm that maximizes liquidity on that DEX, is the 2 biggest things. And when people talk about cross-border remittances, currency, nostro vostro, that allows for the instant liquidity of any asset like it's cash. You see what I mean?
So those 2 things really make XRP unique. Take it from Quincy. He is a developer currently working on the XDC network, but also very, very favorable to the XRP Ledger and what the devs have accomplished over there. So, this thing was clearly built for higher prices. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of months ago, I think it was maybe a month or a month and a half ago, the CEO of Archax even mentioned that $50 trillion could be in fact running through the XRP Ledger on their particular system. Recall that Graham Rodford, the CEO of Global Securities Exchange and custodian Archax, predicted that the XRP Ledger could process $50 trillion in volume by the 4th quarter of 2025. Rodford made this projection while speaking at last year's Swell. As the Crypto Basic reported, he noted this would only be a fraction of the global $1.5 quadrillion, guys. These are not small numbers. So he is even saying, 50 trillion, even though that sounds like an exorbitant number, 1.5 quadrillion is the global quantity of assets. According to him, the XRPL could achieve this feat, considering the growing adoption of blockchain by institutions and the emergence of real-world asset tokenization. And he's saying that, this could be a reality by the year 2025. Which now brings me to the Chad Steingraber theory, brought to you by none other than Chad Steingraber, the road to a $20,000 XRP. So guys, here is the thread, and this was the updated thread. And of course, I will link this in the description of the video for you if you want to look it over. It's been a year and a half since I wrote this original thread, and a lot has happened, including some parts of this theory. So grab a drink and a snack, and we shall take a ride. So the original theory was posted in August of 2022, as I mentioned, and he had posted this one late last year, December 2023. So let's get into this. The original 2022 theory is still alive and can be referenced. See the op. The following is going to expand on it slightly with further details and references to part of this theory that have currently materialized. So the road to is a journey that leads to a final destination. If you only wait until the end, then you will have missed out on a life along the way. Enjoy every step up the mountain, and the victory at the summit will be that much more sweet. So number 1 here, guys, we got asset scarcity. So part of supply and demand is also an issue like an auction bid where many people are bidding on a limited asset of assets that only some of them may own. This can drive up value. It only stops when no one else is willing to pay a high enough price. So that is the first thing, okay? The more assets that are tokenized on the XRP Ledger, obviously, the more demand there will be. That is just kind of basic supply and demand fundamentals. So that goes towards asset scarcity. To account for future market appreciation, current price can be projected into value not realized yet. If I buy a valuable plot of land and sell the idea for a future desirable house, I can sell it at the perceived value today based on what we think it might be later. So that is spec appreciation. Without forced appreciation, only $250,000 of new money entered the hood, bringing the original money injection to about $1 million. So the other $500,000 in the hood market cap is phantom money. So this is not real money. This is theoretical money. This is due to the willingness to pay a price for an asset asset of perceived value. So if you assume something is going to be a high price and you're willing to pay for it, that is the perceived value. That is not actual, real, tangible value. Third, he says, limited assets. The Mona Lisa is valuable because it's the only one ever made. We can make copies or what we call derivatives of that product, but we can't make more Mona Lisas. We can't make more originals, right? Also, because of its importance to society, we place on it a very, very high value. The value is in our minds, though. And so this idea of derivatives, guys, you got to think of the derivatives market and how big that is. If we're going to be tokenizing things that don't even exist, well, theoretically, the sky is the limit. This is exactly what's going on with Bitcoin ETFs. The big players, the BlackRocks, the Fidelities, they're buying up actual Bitcoin and they are selling you, the plebes, a derivative product. You are not actually buying Bitcoin from them. You are buying a derivative. And so theoretically, I mean, they could keep, if they were immoral, they could keep selling you Bitcoin even if they don't have the Bitcoin to back it up. They could sell you that derivative product and you would keep buying and therefore more money would enter the market. And so the same stays true for the XRP Ledger. Derivatives products, the sky is really the limit in terms of how much phantom money can go into that. Now for those new to XRP, let's establish some facts. A limited supply or less. So there's 10 billion XRP, no more than that. On each ledger transaction, we destroy or burn a small portion of XRP to validate its transfer. As you guys probably already know, that can issue any other asset on the ledger. XRP is dirt cheap today because almost all are trading in public small pools of existing money that essentially wash trade back and forth through retail. The public supply is important because that determines the price. Circulating supply, though, is what is king. Today, XRP market cap is about $30 billion, but wait, that doesn't mean there is actually $30 billion of money that has been put into XRP, see number 3. There's far less as the market cap is just a reflection of the current value anyone is willing to pay. So remember, phantom money. This goes back to the concept of phantom money. Number 8, we were told the story that banks will send money to public exchanges, but what they are really sending it to are fully registered custodians that hold XRP and provide the currency swap. This is Ripple software now called Ripple Payments. It used to be called ODL. So Ripple Payments are really there for the little guy, leveling the playing field for small banks and money transmitters to eventually eliminate dependency on correspondent banking to major banks, allowing competition to flourish. Ripple Payments are for the minor leagues. So, for example, companies like Neum. This is exactly what we thought of ODL. Working during this time did not materialize, and that is because of Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, etc. will not send their money transfers directly to open public exchanges. So this is why historically we have not seen ODL really get up off the ground. It was mainly for the small guys. The big banks really kind of have to be pushed into it, and I don't think even at this point they have been. So to clarify the retail trading statement, this doesn't mean eliminating retail trading. It means that the actual purpose and the reason for its existence is for instant access to global liquidity and swapping of assets without an intermediary entity being the gatekeeper. So banks require privacy. That's not going to change anytime soon. Let me be clear. No bank on earth will expose their internal ledger transactions to the public. And guys, this is why, another reason why, kind of a sidebar here, why Ripple is creating private ledgers for these banks, for central bank digital currency projects around the world. The privacy is for you, for the bank to conduct business and create loans without prying eyes. So next one, 13 down here. We know now that Ripple has been working with banks like Bank of America or SABB to create private XRP ledgers. This allows any bank to create a financial infrastructure privately without exposing customer or banking data. The key here to remember, guys, is custody. So XRP will become a reserve currency like gold. Remember, from Ripple, banks holding XRP, that's the holy grail. Remember, XRP can issue any other type of IOUs. CBDCs can be issued. That means Bank of America will create a BOA coin on their private XRP ledger. And then down here, let's continue down here. Number 15, BOA will create a private ledger and hold XRP as a reserve asset, like how central banks will hold gold as a backing asset. And so Bank of America creates BOA coin, an XRP derivative, internally for tracking balances in user accounts. So see how they're going to be using XRP theoretically for this derivative purpose. Internally, Bank of America can do whatever they want as long as they hold a balance of XRP. They are not going to send their XRP anywhere, just like their gold reserve. In fact, they will seek to increase their balance to grow their business. How do they send their money to another bank? Well, this is why we have liquidity hubs, now known publicly as Metaco. Remember, Ripple did decide to go with the liquidity hubs, but then I guess at a point they just decided, okay, it's probably just going to be a lot easier if we just buy out a custody company, in this case, Metaco. So this is an institutional grade custodian that holds a massive basket of different digital assets. Metaco connects directly to the banks, so HSBC, for example, to act as their custodian. The liquidity hubs also hold a balance of XRP because they are the third-party exchanges that require a transfer on the XRP ledger of the issued IOU derivative into another IOU derivative. Why? Because HSBC will never hold a BOA coin. In turn, BOA will never hold an HSBC coin. So you got to think of this, right? These companies are going to have their own products, their own coins, their own derivatives, and nobody's going to want to hold this proprietary coin from another bank. It's their competition. So they're all going to have to agree on a third-party digital asset. In this case, guys, XRP. So BOA coin is sent to Metaco's liquidity hubs using XRP to transfer that into HSBC coin, so on and so forth. That dollar amount of the HSBC coin is then sent back to HSBC, and it shows up as dollars in your account. So have you spotted the magic trick yet? They need XRP. It's now a business dependency, and just like gold, they're going into beast mode and are hoarding what is now the most valuable asset on earth. The entire global transfer system of money depends on it. So, I mean, we can extrapolate here and we can assume that XRP is going to be the only digital asset to transfer money. I have a feeling there'll probably be like 2 or 3 different ones, XRP being one of the main ones. But guys, that is still a huge portion of global liquidity. Think of it as a digital arms race where every bank, every liquidity hub will hoard XRP to increase their balance sheets. The majority of XRP escrowed at Ripple will never see the light of day. They will be the lender of last resort. When they run out of OTC options, what will be next? Well, guys, that would be the public supply, you and I, holding our XRP. The circulating supply of XRP on crypto exchanges is far less than people even realize. A lot of the XRP has been lost. Remember the Mellon banker who died and his keys were lost forever? I think he held something like 500 million XRP. If you guys didn't catch the video I did on that a few years ago, I'll try to find it. I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner. The banks, when ready, are going to be coming for the public XRP supply, and once they have it, it is then gone. It is gone as in forever. So the price has to be high enough for us to want to sell that XRP. For some people, they're going to sell it at lower prices. For others, we're going to wait for it to hit these huge values. So now imagine banks and liquidity hubs overnight begin panic mode and panic buying XRP, market supply, an institutional FOMO run on an order book with multi-billions of dollars, hitting like a tsunami like we've never seen before. So what happens next, guys? It goes from 30 cents to 40 cents, 50 cents, $1. And then what happens? Other exchanges start arbitrage to the highest price. Private wallets transfer in and out. At that point, they're not coming back to dump on the public market for profits. That's peanuts compared to the business of global money transfers in the multi-trillions of dollars. So guess what? I've just been talking about the banks and never addressed the investment side of this thing. So this thing is just enormous how Chad Steingraber sees it. The investment side, the global US dollar money supply and circulation in somewhere around $40+ trillion. To be the 1% of public XRP holders varies somewhere around 60,000 to 70,000 XRP, valued at about $30,000-ish. There's only a few billion, though, on exchanges for public retail trading. Now add the rest of the world's banks, the rest of the liquidity hubs, add the world's billionaires. They'll want their cut. Add the quadrillion plus derivatives market. Add common use in public projects like video games and other applications, guys. You got to think about this. This market is huge. So to get to a $20,000 XRP does not sound far-fetched, at least, when you think of the sheer quantity that Chad here is explaining. So wanted to thank him for that theory, and also just wanted to bring you guys to a demonstration here, the rich list for the XRP community, on top of which this website also does have the AtheyMitchnick XRP price calculation tool. And so just to pop in some numbers here, okay, I wanted to just pop in a few numbers just to give us an estimate. If we are to assume that we're going to start out with that $50 trillion that RTAX decided, okay, and if we divide that by 365 days a year, that would bring us to about 0.1369. So this is calculated in the trillions. So divide that by 365. So per day, because this is a per day field, we get 0.1369. I did the calculations earlier. You're just going to have to trust me on this one. The average day in between XRP transactions. And I'm just going to put 0.05 days because I have a feeling that we're going to see it happen a lot sooner, a lot quicker. store of value, okay, in US dollars. And that would be in the trillions, guys. So if we think about the stock market, gold market, all these different markets, the derivatives market is somewhere in the $650 trillion mark. Let's even double 600 trillion and put it at $1,200 trillion, because realistically at this point, I don't know how much is going to be tokenized. It seems like there's so much more coming online. More is becoming tokenized. And how many years it's going to take for that to happen. At that time, we were thinking 3 to 5 years. But guys, realistically, 2025 is just around the corner. So let's just say 1 year, okay? 1 year away. Now let's look at the circulating supply of XRP at that point in time. If we were to move about 1 year in the future, I am going to assume, okay, based on what the escrow has been doing thus far, that we would see about 57.2 billion XRP. And the reason I say that is because routinely now we have seen the 1 billion XRP released on escrow date, so the first of every month, and then about 800 million is put back into escrow. So I'm only assuming about 200 million XRP per month at a time here. And of course, that could change, guys. All these numbers can be different. And then let's take a look at the interest rate. I'm going to keep it here at 5 just because that's the default amount. Now, it's funny because when you put in these numbers and you calculate, look at that, guys. Look how close you get to a $20,000 XRP, $19,981.16, the potential value for an XRP based on these particular parameters. So you can test it out for yourself. I will link all these websites in the description of the video for you. So do you think a $20,000 XRP is possible? And how long before we possibly see one? I don't know. That's just my opinion. But I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.